Hello and welcome to a quick tutorial video on Google Slides. So the unit that you're going to be working on now is a presentation. So a presentation is basically a group of slides put together that the presenter, the person that's giving that information out, actually will click through and then give information to an audience. And using Google Slides, you can do this in kind of a lot of different ways. You can make it look really neat and interesting. So let's get started with exactly what you're going to be doing. This is your presentation that you have. Your presentation is probably already named because you're creating it through Google Classroom. But this is where the name of that presentation is going to be. So I'm going to very quickly name mine because it's always good to make sure your documents are named, of course. So we're going to call this one the Survive because a little bit later on I'm going to show you some of the Thrive stuff that you'll be doing for this presentation as well. So first things first, I'm going to talk to you about the different slide types that we have. Right now I have, this is what's called a title slide, and it's always the first slide that pops up for you because typically your very first slide you're going to be introducing the topic that you're presenting on to your audience, and you do this using a title slide. So you can see here I've got a couple of text boxes. They already have them kind of default put in there, so you don't have to worry about putting them into a certain space. And so you can see here it says click to add title. If I click in here I can actually start typing, and then also down here it says click to add a subtitle. I can click in there and I can also start typing. And so what you're going to be coming up with, I've already talked to you about in class, and so you should have an idea already of what it is that you're going to put in here for your title. So let's say your title happens to be on magnets or something like that. You just put a simple title that just says like magnets on it, or whatever your subject happens to be. Okay. If you'd really like to put a subtitle, you definitely can, because when you look at just this, I mean, that looks a little bit plain. Right here, this is what's called a thumbnail, and then your thumbnail you can get like an overall view of what your slide looks like. Now you notice where it says click to add subtitle right here. You see how those words are right there, but they actually don't show up over here. What is interesting about these boxes is if you don't type anything into them, they don't show up. So I know I have a lot of students that will click on that to try to delete it and it doesn't go away. If you don't want to put a subtitle, just leave it blank. It doesn't show up. You can see that over here on your thumbnail. Okay. But if you want to, you can put a little subtitle. This is where you can kind of use a little humor if you want to. They stick to metal. Oh my gosh, that was such a bad spelling. How about that? That's better. They stick to metal. How about that? That's a good title now. Now, here's the next thing I want to talk to you about before we start adding slides, and I'll talk to you about other slides. This is a very plain, boring looking slide, is it not? Of course. So what we're going to do is actually go into what are called themes. And themes are kind of nice because they don't really require you to really think too much about designing your slides from scratch. They'll allow you just to kind of basically pick a default setting that's already been put together that looks really nice. So what you can do is you can kind of scroll through here and see, oh gosh, I think I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. You can scroll through here and see where you might want to put or how you want them to look. And so you can see there's a whole bunch of very cool ones here. You can pick anything that you like. You can click on one, and this is what's great about it. If you don't like it, you can pick a different one and it will change it automatically for you. See how it automatically moves stuff around to fit that theme? It's kind of a cool thing. So I kind of like this kind of looks cool. I'm gonna try to, yeah, I like that. That looks pretty cool. So this is my theme. I have a nice little big red box in there, and that looks like that's all right. I wish the background wasn't so white. So you could just play around with this and find some themes that you think are kind of cool, kind of neat. I might go with that one. I like the font. See how it even changes the font for you. That's pretty cool. So really a lot of the design work has kind of been taken out of your hands, which is nice. And so I'm happy with that. That's a good slide, title slide here for me. So I'm ready to move on to my next slide. So as I told you prior to this video starting, we're going to be expected to do 5 slides is what I want you to do. I want you to do 1 title slide. We're also going to be putting in 3 fact slides, and then we're going to do a review slide with bullets in it. So what we're going to do now is, hang on, I'm writing some notes down because I've forgotten to say something for another part. we're going to add another slide. And so up here in the top left corner, you see like a little plus sign. If I just hit that plus sign, it's going to auto guess what I want to add for my next slide. And typically you do this type of slide. Now, if I hit the little drop down here, then this will actually give me all the different types of slides that there are. There's a blank slide with nothing on it. There's a big number slide if you want. There's a caption. There's a section, title, and description, a main point, a title with 2 columns, a title only, a 1-column text, a title and body, or a section header. Okay, so lots of different things here. For you, more than likely, most of you, unless you're pretty creative and you kind of get a grasp of this or have an idea of how you want to present this information, you're probably going to be using that title slide for the first one, and then the rest are probably going to be this title and body. Okay, so, and that's what it automatically defaults to. It went right to this title and body right here. Okay, so what you do then basically is you have like a little subtitle in this box, and then you put your fact down here in this box. Okay, so like my subtitle, so I'm just going off of magnets, and I'm going to absolutely put like nothing truthful on this whatsoever, so please don't copy me at all, or tell your teachers, in a matter of fact, either. So so magnets, I'm going to say something about metal. Okay, so that's kind of a lame title. I would like something a little bit nicer, but that works for what I'm doing here. And metal is hard. Sometimes it is cold, and it also can be gray. This is pretty insightful stuff right here. I mean, this is, I mean, you're learning some big things here, right? Okay, so this is my fact that I'm putting down here, and I'm putting it about metal. So I did this in a complete sentence. I use a period. I did all of these other things. Later on, we're going to be adding a picture. So I know right now this slide looks very lame because I have hardly anything on it, but I do want to leave a nice big blank space because I'm going to be throwing some pictures in here during the Thrive part of this lesson. So feel free to make sure you leave that in there. So what I don't want you to do, I don't want you to like size this font up so enormous that it takes up the entire slide, because we don't want just words. We want a word with an visual as well. Okay, so I'm going to leave a nice big blank spot here, but I am going to take care of this. I'm going to change this up a little bit because I don't like it how it is right now. I would like it to be a little bit bigger. So the size right now is 42. I kind of think I might want to go maybe bigger, 60. Maybe even bigger, 72. Oh my gosh, that's good. That is much better. I can also do some other things with this too. I can come up here to more, and I can do our aligning. So I can center this if I want to. I can even be like creative, cool, and put it over on the far side if I want to as well. So it's totally up to you on how you want to do that. And I think, you know what, I think I might just leave it shoved over there. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. I can resize these boxes. I can move these boxes around, which is kind of a cool thing. So you notice how my cursor changes from a cursor to type, and it changes to these 4 arrows. When it changes to those 4 arrows, I can click and I can drag this box basically anywhere I want it to go. So even off the slide, it'll let me put it basically anywhere. The cool thing about Google Slides is, you see that red line that just snapped right there? That tells me I'm centered. So I don't have to guess at where the center is. I can just hit it right there. That's centered. And it'll even give me an up and down center like that. So if I wanted to put this directly in the center of my slide, I could do it like that too. So use those little red lines. See that? It'll show me if I push right up against the edge. Use those little red lines as help to centering your things and guiding where you want it to go. So so that's an information slide. So what I want to basically do is I want 2 more of these slides. And so I'm going to go ++, and those are going to be 2 more of these slides. I'm actually not going to fill them with any more insightful information because I've already done one nice, wonderful thing right there. I don't want to teach you anything else. So these are also going to be your fact slides. Okay, so you have 1, you have 2, you have 3. All right. Now I'm going to add one more slide. This slide is going to have a special title. This slide is going to be review. Okay, review. And then what I'm going to do in here is I'm actually going to do something with bullets. Bullets are kind of cool. They're a way to organize multiple facts without having them kind of running together. And so I have actually bullets right here. I could also do a numbered list. It's kind of up to you. And you don't even have to choose this. I can actually click on here and I can see the different types of bullets. I could do squares. I could do these little arrows. I could do stars, or these other arrows. I could do that as well. So cool, look at the stars. I'm going to put a star in each one of these because these are super cool facts, right? And so here's my review. My review is going to be really simple. I'm going to just restate my facts that I had on slide 2, slide 3, and slide 4. So the things I typed here, I'm going to retype into this review slide. I can kind of shorten them up if I want to and kind of get right to the point. So if I went really in depth with one of these facts, I could kind of cut it down a little bit here, summarize it a little bit better if I wanted to. But I'm going to type in the review things that I showed you here on my video. Look at that. I'm kind of dual purposing here. So what I'm going to tell you is remember that you need to have 5 slides, right? Okay. And when I hit enter, look what happens. I get another star. How cool is that, right? I get another star. So when I hit enter, it adds another bullet for me or a star for me, which is kind of nice. Whoops, I hit enter again. I didn't want to do that. So I'm going to go back up here and hit enter. It puts my star back where it's supposed to go, which is really cool. So again, I wanted 5 slides. I want you to change the theme. Whoops, theme of your slideshow. Oh my goodness. All right, change theme of slideshow. That's another thing that you need to do. And you're going to make sure that you have 3 facts with a review slide. Okay, those are my bullets right there. Okay, I can also do some other things where I can spread these out a little bit because I really don't like how those are. They're too short or they're too crunched together, you know. So I'm going to play around with this a little bit. I'm going to make these a little bit bigger. And then what I'm going to do is go up to this where it says line spacing. And you know, I'm going to double that. Look at that. So if I double space, it leaves some space in between each one of those, which is really, really cool. If I want to play around with color for font, I can also do that, or color for the words, I can do that if I want to. This review here, I want to make that way bigger too because that's super, super small. That's much better. And I like that. I might scoot this down a little bit. So what's kind of cool about slides is you can really kind of play around with stuff. So you can use what they give you, but then you can kind of modify it and change it however you want. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be basically doing here for the survive portion of this unit. So you will need to have 5 slides, all of them with information, a different fact on each one of the 3 in the middle, a title slide with a subtitle, possibly if you'd like. I would like that. It looks nicer if you do. And then a review slide at the end that covers all 3 of the facts that you shared. Once that is finished, of course, you can play around with the size, play around with the font. If I didn't like this font, I could change it. If I don't like these bullets, I can change them too. I can come up here, and if I wanted to do arrows instead, I could change them to arrows. Notice how I highlighted my stuff first to then change my bullets. Okay. Google Slides works just like Google Docs. So if I have a misspelled word, it will come up with a red squiggly line that I can right click and fix. And I think that's pretty much it. I think I've about covered this. Just a reminder, don't take up all the space with your words because you're going to be leaving some space for a picture on the first 4 slides. Okay. So the first 4 slides are all going to have a picture inserted to go with that fact, and that's going to be covered in the Thrive video, which you can do after you get all of this stuff done first. So good luck to you, and if you need any help or have any problems, please ask President Mr. Meyer. He would be more than happy to help you, or go back and watch this part of the video again because I might have went over something a little fast and you might have to listen to it more than once. So good luck, and go ahead and create your slideshow now.
Step 13, enjoy popular music.
Tap the charts again, it's Everything is Awesome.
Oh my gosh, I love this song.
Everything is awesome.